Hello, I'm Lauren Marlowe, CEO of Speechworks, and I am here with my distinguished colleague, Kim Cunningham, our storm-chasing meteorologist turned speech coach, to give you an overview of what to expect and to help you prepare for our upcoming workshop so that you show up ready to make the most of your experience with us.
Now, to give you an idea of what to expect during your Persuasive Speaker workshop, you'll be working on how to organize your presentation, how to deliver your message in a style that connects, and how to answer questions in a way that inspires confidence. You know, we use a learning through application approach, so you will participate in multiple on-camera exercises and get feedback from our experienced coaches that you can incorporate and literally watch yourself improve as a speaker over the course of our program.
All of Speechworks coaches have been through this very same process, myself included, and I can personally attest that the strategies we teach with practice will help you become a better communicator.
As a participant in our workshop, you will need something to present. So in today's webinar, we're going to guide you through how to structure a message and how to prepare an outline of a short presentation. We call this the Speechworks formula, but it's based on a really old idea that every presentation you give, every story that you tell, should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. In other words, you tell them what you're going to tell them, then you tell them what you told them.
To jump right in, for the beginning of your presentation, you'll start with your hook. This is the statement that articulates the business challenges that your listeners are concerned about and is designed to grab their attention. To come up with your hook, you need to put yourself in your audience's shoes and ask, what does your audience care about? What does your audience want or need? You need to give this some thought and possibly even research before you get started, because it's critical that your hook be on point with your audience's concerns or desires, or else you run the risk of losing them from the very beginning, which is not persuasive and definitely not what you want. Next, you'll come up with your message objective. This is where you introduce the idea of ultimately what you're trying to sell. And you make the connection that this idea will help your audience reach the goal or address the challenge that you've just outlined in your hook. Think of this as having two parts. One, what you want, plus how what you want will give your audience what it wants, as you've just described in your hook. And for the third part of your opening, you're going to give a quick overview of your 3 listener-centered points that you will focus on to provide evidence as support for your message objective and to persuade your audience to buy into your idea. It could be 3 challenges, 3 benefits, situation, challenge, solution, whatever suits your presentation best. Now, we say 3, it could be 2 or 4. Point here is to keep these to a few. You want your presentation to be memorable so that you can't be bombarding them with too much information. These are simple statements because simple equals memorable, which is what we're going for here. So think of these as chapter titles of a book or like bumper stickers, generally 6 to 8 words or so. And remember, this is just a preview. You'll discuss these in a lot more detail when you get to the actual body or the heart of your presentation.
Now we move to the middle portion of your presentation. This is where you elaborate on your 3 key messages and you bring them to life with evidence. We say that evidence speaks to the needs of your listener. So you will use stories, personal examples, expert testimony, analogies, killer quotes, and statistics and data to illustrate your points. To dive in a little deeper, let's take a minute and touch on each of these individually. First, stories. Stories are a wonderful tool in your toolkit that can help you create a relatable picture in the minds of your audience, which I think is golden. Relatability is persuasive. Relatability sells. To tell a good story, though, you need 4 things. First, your setting. Who, what, when, where, why. Give your audience a visual with enough details to set the stage to make your story more believable, more credible. Second, the problem or challenge. This is straightforward enough. Identify the challenge. Then the action. What was done to address the problem? And finally, the outcome. How did it work out? Now, if you can practice and learn to tell stories well, then you are well on your way to becoming a persuasive speaker. Next, we have personal examples. These are a lot like stories, but with you included in the narrative. They have some point based on your own experience. Then expert testimony. If there is an expert in your field or a person at your company, for example, the CFO, whose statement carries a lot of weight on its own, meaning the source of the statement has credibility from notoriety or authority, then such statements or testimony can be very powerful and can support your point. Then we've got analogies or comparisons. Analogies are great to help you get out of the weeds and explaining complicated ideas. And it gives your audience an easier and more engaging way to make the connections needed to understand those complex ideas quickly. Next, killer quotes. Now, depending on the source, these may or may not be enough to stand alone as solid evidence. But either way, they can supplement your other evidence and be used strategically to imply consensus at large that your idea, hey, is a good one, and that your audience should consider it. And finally, stats and data. Stats and data are important, and many presentations can't be done without them. But be mindful, there's some pitfalls. Stats and data can be boring, or worse, interpreted differently by each set of ears. So to make sure that your use of stats and data has the impact that you intend, give them some context. Include them within a story or along with another source of evidence.
And now we move to the end of the presentation. You need to give your audience a recap. This part is simple. You just restate your message objective and remind your audience of your 3 key points, the bumper sticker versions. And then you end with a call to action, because you have to make your ask. All right, so now with the Speechworks formula under our belts, let's move on to the actual homework sheet itself. Everybody's gonna get a homework sheet that looks just like this, and your job is to fill out the sheet before the start of your workshop so that you can make the most of your time with us. We're going to help you with this process right now, and Kim is going to coach me through it.
All right, so let's go. Let's get started. Lauren, what are we going to select as a topic?
Well, Kim, I want our company to invest in a new CRM, a new customer relationship management software system.
All right, so this, I'm thinking, is an internal presentation to our company, and we are speaking to senior level people trying to persuade them to buy into this new CRM.
Yes,
Sound right?
That's right.
Okay. All right, so let's walk through the formula, starting with the hook. Remember, the hook starts with a business challenge that your listeners are concerned about. So in this case, what's the business challenge that our listeners are concerned about, Lauren?
In this case, our listeners want to increase repeat business from existing customers.
All right, so what do we put as our hook?
So our hook is going to be, I understand that our company is looking to increase repeat business.
All right, very good. Nice and simple. That's all we need to do is write it in a nice, simple statement. Now we move to the message objective. Remember, the message objective is really a simple sentence that essentially says, if you do what I want, you're going to get what you want. Lauren, in this case, what do you have as our message objective?
Well, my message objective is by investing in a new CRM, our company will see an increase in business from our existing clients.
All right, I like it. Very good. So if we start from the very beginning, it would sound something like this.
I understand that our company is looking to increase repeat business. And by investing in a new CRM, we will see an increase in our business from our existing clients.
All right, that's the hook and the message objective together. As you can see, they really go good together in that way. So now we move to the idea that we should keep our message to 3 key points. Remember, you want to keep your message nice and simple. So Lauren, what do we come up with as our 3 6-word bumper stickers?
First, we'll provide better tracking for follow-up. Second, all activities will be consolidated into one location. And finally, our team can collaborate more effectively.
All right, great. So that's it. That's our hook, our message objective, and 3 points. All together, it's going to sound like this.
So I understand that our company is looking to increase repeat business. And by investing in a new CRM, we will be able to increase business from our existing clients. And this will happen because of 3 things. First, we'll have better tracking for follow-up. Second, all activity can be consolidated into one location. And third, This will allow our team to collaborate more effectively.
All right, so that's it. The tell them what you're going to tell them, the 3-point preview of the presentation. Now we move into the tell them part, the body of the presentation, where we bring our 3 points to life with evidence. Now you may remember from our discussion earlier that we talked about the idea that evidence speaks to the needs of your listeners using stories, personal examples, expert testimony, analogies, killer quotes, statistics, facts, and data. So let's give our 3 points some life and support. So Lauren, starting with our first point, what evidence do you have to support your assertion that the proposed CRM will allow for better tracking and follow-up?
In our business, we know that it takes at least 6 to 8 touches in order to make a sale, and that each contact should be unique and show our value. As Penny Wilson said, no longer will people accept viral marketing. What consumers are expecting and craving is a more personalized, curated experience. For example, last week we finally won the Mainco account after 15 strategic touches ranging from our personalized messages to sharing our most recent white paper. The new CRM would allow our team to do this with all of our existing clients.
All right, very good. So there you go. You have the main point, better tracking for follow-up, and then we have some business data, a nice quote, and a nice business example to support the point. This is a great illustration of how to use more than one piece of evidence, actually. You know what? You can mix and match as well. Now let's go over the second point. All activities can be consolidated into one location. What's our evidence there, Lauren?
Well, if you remember, when John retired, there were a lot of clients that we could not track. And as a result, we lost a few contacts and we had a few embarrassing moments when we did not know what was going on with some of the clients that he managed. With a new CRM, we'll have the ability to see the history of our contacts with each client, which will help us avoid losing contacts as well as prevent similar embarrassing moments in the future.
All right, great. So this is a good start of a story that you can embellish upon in the workshop. The new CRM will allow the company to capture and track the client-specific information held by personnel, even if they're no longer with the company. Now we move on to point 3. Allows us to collaborate more effectively. So what do we have for our evidence, Lauren?
Well, last month, we lost a pitch to ABC Company after the CMO received 3 follow-up emails from our group in the same week. The proposed CRM would eliminate duplicate, uncoordinated efforts of this type and allow our team members to collaborate more effectively.
So once again, you have a nice business example and actually the start of a story to support the idea of how the CRM will allow colleagues to collaborate more effectively. So that is the body of the presentation. Once again, notice that all you're doing is making a few notes in terms of the homework. We're not asking you to create a full script here. Just note so that you can remember what you're talking about. Now let's move to the recap, the tell them what you've told them piece in the presentation. Remember the recap, all that you're going to be doing is repeating your message objective and 3 points from your preview, and then making your call to action. So in this case, your recap sounds like this.
So by investing in a new CRM, we will see an increase in business from our existing clients. And this will happen because of 3 things. First, we'll have better tracking for follow-up. Second, all activity can be consolidated into one location. And third, this will allow our team to collaborate more effectively.
And so now we move to the call to action. If it's a persuasive message, then your presentation should have a call to action. You should ask your listeners for something at the very end. So Lauren, what's our call to action?
My ask of you today is to put the new CRM into next year's budget and give me authority to move forward with the next steps to plan implementation.
Great, nice and clear call to action. The audience knows exactly what Lauren is asking for with this presentation. That's it. So now to prepare your homework sheet for yourself, think of a topic. And your topic should be something real that you might actually present as part of your job. Give you some ideas. Our clients come up with a variety of topics, such as trying to get approval for a new project, to add headcount, to persuade your team to adopt a best practice, or even pitching a piece of business to a client. Whatever you choose, we just ask you pick something that's real.
Now just fill out the sheet in the same way we did here, and you'll be ready for the workshop. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in class.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda, and you'll be hearing from me periodically while you're in this workshop, so we wanted to give you a face to the name. Before session 1 of your workshop, please email me a copy of your completed homework sheet to speech@speechworks.net, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Bye for now.